I just smoked a J and now I want to talk about books. Hi angels, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am so glad you're here today. My name is Carissa and I do all kinds of content on this channel that reflect various facets of my personality and my interests, including but not limited to vlogs, spirituality-based videos, poetry, bookish videos, makeup, fashion, all the things that make me me. I just wanted to sit and have a more chill video today where I just talk about the books that I want to read this autumn. If you like these kinds of videos, please let me know in the comments below. Before we go any further though, I want to give you guys a really big thank you. I recently went to my P.O. box and I checked it and I was overwhelmed with all of the love in that P.O. box. So many of you sent me gifts and made me little things and wrote me little letters, and it was just the sweetest thing in the world. I feel like the luckiest girl in the world, and I just wanted to say thank you for your support. And even if you didn't send anything, just watching this video is a form of support, so I just wanted to take the time to say thank you before we get started. Starting off with a book that is not a novel, but more of a 12-week course, self-inflicted 12-week course. I picked up The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. So many of you guys recommended this book to me after my last video was posted. I made this diary entry style video kind of discussing and harping over my writer's block that I'm experiencing lately, and so many of you told me to pick this up. This is more than a book. This is like a course. This is like a class. I treat it like a class. I've been waking up at 7:30ish in the morning, and the first thing I do is do an hour of this workbook slash reading slash informative life-changing course. The Artist's Way is a spiritual path to higher creativity. It's about recovering your creative energy, tapping into that childlike creative energy for yourself, unlearning limiting beliefs. It's very spiritually based. So far, I'm only on week 1, but I'm already thoroughly enjoying it and I'm already seeing a difference in my creativity. I'm really excited to see how this course really pans out for me and how it changes my creative process, perhaps. I don't know, if any of you guys have done this full 12-week course, please let me know how it went for you. I know a lot of well-renowned artists have like sworn by this, so I'm really excited to dedicate the time to it and kind of just do, you know, a course by choice, a self-inflicted class. I never went to college or anything like that, so I don't know, I feel like this is going to be really good for me, good for my creativity and for my spirituality, so I'm really happy about this. I'm scheduled to finish the course on the last day of November. Throughout the whole autumn season, I'm going to be dedicating myself to The Artist's Way. It's going to be an interesting 12 weeks, that's for sure. Next book is Elvis and Me by Priscilla Presley. This is Priscilla Presley's memoir about her life spent with Elvis Presley from the moment she met him when she was 14 years old up until he died. And I'm in the middle of this right now. I'm about halfway through it, and oh my god, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. If you've watched this channel for any amount of time, you would know that I have a deep, deep love for Sofia Coppola films, and it just so happens that a new Sofia Coppola movie based off of Priscilla Presley's memoir will be releasing this autumn. And of course, I wanted to read the memoir before seeing the film, but oh my gosh, this is my Joker. I'm so excited. I'm so excited because I love Sofia Coppola, and if anybody is gonna do this memoir justice, I'm only halfway through it, but I can already tell you that Sofia Coppola is the only director that can adapt this into a film that serves the memoir justice. I am just so fascinated by this story. I'm only halfway through and I've already learned so much about Elvis as a person, not as an artist. Elvis as a person in a relationship and how that affected young Priscilla. She was so young when she met him. And this is a story of first love, young love, but it's also very eerie to read some of the things that Priscilla has been through and the way she was treated and how her life and her teenagehood was completely warped and shifted and morphed around Elvis and what Elvis wanted and needed. Her life was literally dedicated to this man even after they were divorced. If you have any interest at all in Elvis Presley or in Priscilla and her story, please pick this up and give it a read before you go see the film. I just want to be able to watch the film and know what's true to Priscilla's story and what's more for the film. I was reading this book in one of my Patreon videos recently. I did a read with me, kind of like a reading timer ASMR style video where you pick up a book and read with me, and I did it at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, and I was listening to the instrumentals of Lana songs. Highly recommend listening to Lana instrumentals while you read this. But yeah, I did a read with me over there on my Patreon. If you're interested in something like that, it's really cool. You know, I put some Romeo and Juliet music over it. It was great. I'll have my Patreon linked down below if you're interested in that. Yes, this is absolutely a must read for this autumn for me. Alright, now kind of moving into more of the autumnal energy, cozy, warm, spooky, ooky type books. Ignore this stupid sticker. I hate the Barnes & Noble stickers. Next on my TBR is The October Country Stories by Ray Bradbury. Ray Bradbury is the autumn author. His writing is so perfect for this time of year. I've read 2 of his short stories before, but I haven't read all of them. This is a collection of short stories, by the way. This is what the back of it says to give you a sum of what type of short stories are in here. The October Country is Ray Bradbury's own netherworld of the soul, inhabited by the horrors and demons that lurk within all of us. Sounds spooky to me. I'm really excited to read through this. I had to put Ray Bradbury's writing in my autumn TBR. It's just necessary. It has to happen. So I'm excited to pick this up and get into the autumnal spirit. Next book is a reread for me, and I mentioned this in a previous video as well, but I really want to reread Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I've been wanting to reread a Gillian Flynn novel for some time now. I've read both this one and Sharp Objects. I just feel like a good thriller is really fun for this time of year, and I adore Gillian Flynn's writing style. I am an Amy Dunn apologist. She did nothing wrong. Free my girl Amy. This is a mystery thriller. It's not necessarily in relation to autumn by any means, but I just feel like reading a good mystery or a good thriller at this time of year is necessary. You have to have at least one mystery on your autumn TBR. Highly recommend this one. If you haven't read it yet, you probably have at least seen the film, but if you haven't read the book, I really recommend it, and it really fleshes the story out. There's some really interesting scenes in here. This novel is the home of the cool girl monologue, and I know you all have heard it. It's all over TikTok and it's all over Tumblr, but few people have actually read the book, so I'm excited to give this a reread, and I definitely recommend this one for your spooky season. Next on my autumn TBR is a children's book, but as I was checking out at the Barnes & Noble, the woman at the register told me she doesn't know why it's classified as a children's novel because it's quite scary, according to her. Let me know if you've read this and give me your thoughts on it, but I picked up Coraline by Neil Gaiman. We've all seen the film, the animated movie that is so good and stunning and creepy and a must rewatch, you know, every time that autumn rolls around. I've never read the book, and yes, it's technically a kid's book, but I've heard that the book is quite spooky, even spookier than the film. I'm really excited to read this. It's extremely short. It's literally only 160 pages. So this is really good for, you know, a chilly autumn night when you just want to blow through a one-sitting read. This is perfect for that, and it's spooky and it's fun. It feeds my inner child. I really love the movie Coraline, and I feel like it's a crime that I haven't read the book. So I might bring this with me to my Joshua Tree trip as like my read out there. That might be fun. Next on my TBR is a book that I actually got in a haul a few videos back, a few months ago. I went around LA to various bookstores and picked up some things, but I've been shelving this one specifically for the autumn time because I feel like it's going to be the perfect horror book for my autumn season, and that is Girls Against God by Jenny Haval. Listen, I know we had Gone Girl in the TBR, but I needed another book that was just laced with feminist theory and that was spooky, experimental, and that's why Girls Against God absolutely is on my TBR. I don't know the plot of this book, and I don't want to know, okay? I want to go into this kind of blind. All I know is that it's horror. It includes witchcraft. That's all I know. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know anything else. I'm just excited to finally read Jenny Haval. I've never read one of her novels before, and I've been dying to. I'm really glad I saved this for spooky season. If you have read this, please let me know if it's good. I've found that it has a lot of mixed reviews. You know, some people really like it and some people don't care for it at all. I feel like I'm going to like it. My intuition says it might push me because I've heard it's very uncomfortable, but I like that. We need that. I'm definitely gonna save this read for closer to Halloween time. Next book is another reread. I've read this novel twice, but it's absolutely perfect for this time of year, and that is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I love my edition of Little Women. I think it's beautiful. This is a classic, obviously. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this novel or at least seen the films. I've seen both the 90s version with Winona Ryder and the Greta Gerwig one, and they're both great. This is the fall and winter months in a novel. It's Christmas time. It's Thanksgiving time. It's giving what it needs to give. It's the perfect classic to pick up and give another read this season. If you don't know, Little Women is about 4 sisters, Beth, Meg, Amy, and Jo. I have 2 sisters myself, so I've always felt really, really connected to this story. I do identify as a Jo-Amy hybrid. I sometimes identify with Amy because I'm the youngest, but then I also really see myself in Jo. But I adore this classic. This is probably my favorite classic, actually. This is the only classic I've ever reread intentionally and for pure entertainment and joy, and it's always around this time of year. So I picked up this edition at the Barnes & Noble at the Grove because it was so stunning. I gave my other edition away to my friend, so I didn't have a copy, and this one was on sale, so I just went ahead and got it for this season so I can reread it. And I'm really excited about it. And then after I reread it, I'm for sure gonna rewatch the films as well. A classic like this is a really good entry-level classic if you've never read one. So definitely recommend to pick it up for your autumn TBR. The last book in my autumn TBR is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I freaking hate these stickers so much. If you don't know, I am obsessed with The Haunting of Hill House show on Netflix. I rewatch it every autumn since it came out. I love it so much. That's one of my favorite TV series of all time, and it's an absolute shame that I've never read the novel that it's based off of. I know the show, a lot of things were added to it. It was more fleshed out, I think, than this novel, but I still want to read it. I still want to be able to compare the two and see how much the novel differs from the show. This is a classic haunted house tale. Now, I feel like the novel, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the novel is more of a classic haunted house story, and it does flesh out some of the family issues, but I feel like the show really dives into the idea of the ghosts in the house being trauma and mental illness. The show is more of a tale of like mental health than it is a horror haunted house story. It's a story of familial trauma, but the haunted house is used as the catalyst for this story. I don't know how much the book really dives into that, but I'm excited to give it a read. If you've never watched the show, please take the time this autumn to watch it. It's phenomenal. It's relatable, especially if you've, had family issues and there's so many siblings and it's easy to identify with different characters and, you know, see your family members and their family, and it's crazy good. It's crazy good. It is spooky though. It is scary. I wonder how scary this one's going to be. It's a gothic horror, and I haven't read many just classic gothic horror novels, so I'm excited to give it a read finally after all these years. Alright guys, that is my autumn TBR. I hope you enjoyed this style of video. I never really do reading lists on this channel, but if you liked it, I mean, let me know. Maybe I'll do a winter reading list when the season changes again. I always want you guys to enjoy what I do on here. I never want to be the only one enjoying it, so I always worry that I'm being boring or that, you know, I'm not being interesting enough when I do these sit down talk style videos, but I know a lot of you guys like them, so I'm glad to have done it, and I'm glad to have shared my reads for the fall with you guys. But I love you so much, and I hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Please subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye!